Well, methinks maybe AOC is due for an American history lesson and not a lesson at one of the propaganda schools that she and her party spend so much time defending. You see, AOC seems to have a lack of understanding about which political party sat on each side of the Civil War, for example.
Donald Trump and Stephen Miller want you to believe that this is who we are as a country. And we are here to say that it is not. We are a country that has fought and defeated the Confederacy, that has defeated a history of civil rights violations, of secret police.
Yeah, except that's not really what history tells us. For more cluelessness and lies, AOC has got you covered always. Democrats spent 4 years lying during the first Trump presidency, so why would anything be different during the second Trump presidency, like continuing the lie that being here illegally is not a crime, or that ICE is removing American citizens, among many other lies.
President Trump ran on a promise to the American people that ICE would go after the worst of the worst. Well, we are now coming up on a year of this presidency, and I want to talk to the folks at home who feel disillusioned by what ICE is doing in our country. Because what we have seen is that ICE is not overwhelmingly going after criminals. In fact, over 70% of people currently detained in detention facilities do not have a criminal record. So who are they going after? They are going after 6-year-olds in my district. They are going after students and permanent residents for their political views. They are going after Americans born and raised in the United States.
So right off the bat, she lied, because when you break into the country illegally, you've committed a crime. So 100% of people in detention that are illegals have committed crimes. Sorry, your number's wrong. Just last month in November, a woman named Bethany McGee was set on fire on a Chicago train. Her name and story, well, they're hardly mentioned because the inconvenient truth is that the man who did it was a repeat offender who should never have been out on the streets, but that's just so blue, isn't it? To hide that stuff. Democrats love letting criminals off the hook. So Governor J.B. Pritzker, who continues to be in denial about how badly his state is being run, because it's him and he wants to run for president, is avoiding dealing with the real problem and offers this solution instead. Oh, the irony. Just a little ironic that Democrats love to go on about how rude the president can be in his tweets and comments, and yet they can say things like this and somehow pretend not to see it.
As a country, we have 3 years to go with a man who's not only massively, and I mean massively corrupt, but I'm not sure possesses the basic elements of humanity. And I'm not sure he's not getting worse. It's not up to me, because frankly, I wouldn't down his god throat if his heart was on fire.
What happened to James Carville? He used to be like a sane Politico, not on the left, but still somewhat sane. Remember, he came up with "It's the economy, stupid" for Bill Clinton, which basically won the election for Clinton. If the left isn't busy saying awful things about President Trump and his administration, or lighting Teslas on fire for no reason, they also like to turn to slamming an entire political party with their special brand of vitriol, like the ladies of The View. What's particularly interesting is how quickly the left has forgotten how so many of them reacted to Charlie Kirk's assassination and how few of them actually condoned the behavior.
There is no justification for him to have written what he wrote. There's no way to justify it. And all of those Republicans who are quiet, damn you all.
You're like
damn
Johnson.
you all.
Oh, so let me get it straight, Whoopi. He wrote something and said something, so there's no justification in your mind, so it's okay he was assassinated. Because there are a lot of people who disagree with you, Whoopi. What are they supposed to do? The left doesn't seem to care that they incite violence against this country's federal officers and agents. 2 National Guard members shot, one of them killed. There was a shooting in an ICE facility. Before that, they just managed to stop a leftist terrorist attack. But it doesn't matter the likes of unfunny comedian Leslie Jones, nor to Nicolle Wallace as she smiles when Leslie says this.
How do you think it ends? How do you think the era ends?
Girl, this is what I'm hoping, that midterms people come out and vote like crazy to switch it over, and then the reckoning comes. That's what I want everybody that worked for ICE. I want them in jail. I just want a reckoning. I want a reckoning. Y'all know y'all did wrong stuff. You know some of the stuff you did was so wrong. I need a reckoning.
Folks, Jasmine Crockett is looking for a miracle to help her win the Texas Senate seat, much like I'm sure it was a miracle that somehow got her the Texas congressional seat that she thinks she deserves. Jasmine thinks she can win the Senate without winning over Republicans because that worked out so well for Beto O'Rourke.
In trying to win this state, which tack are you taking here? Are you trying to reach out to voters who had otherwise cast ballots for Republicans, or are you going to go for a different tack, which is to bring about a new swath of the electorate that hadn't previously come out?
It's a little bit of both, but I will tell you it's more of the people that haven't been talked to than it is going and trying to win over Republicans. And I'm glad that you brought up Beto, because Beto is the last Democrat that came anywhere near clinching one of these statewide seats.
Beto? Have I been saying it wrong this whole time? Beto O'Rourke or Beto O'Rourke? Let me ask someone who knows. The Minneapolis police chief says he refuses to cooperate with ICE when checks are given out, given the lack of leadership we've seen from that particular city. But then this guy decides to make a false equivalency to illegals just in time for Christmas.
Having been raised a Catholic, to be in a Christian church this morning as we are approaching Christmas, and I cannot help but think of what is happening in our city today and how that echoes with how outsiders have been treated for thousands of years, how Mary and Joseph themselves were considered outsiders and forced to stay in a barn.
No, there's no equivalency here. The ones who are taking care of our military, the other one, the illegals are breaking into the country illegally. They need to go home. But I just want to point out as well, that's Minneapolis in the state of Minnesota, where the number is now $12 billion. $12 billion that group or those groups of Somalians and others stole from tampon Tim Walz's estate. $12 billion, started at $1 billion. It's up to 12, who knows what. I mean, this guy, he should be prosecuted. Forget throwing him out of office. He needs to be prosecuted. He was warned. It could be one of the biggest corruption scandals in the history of the country. $12 billion, and this clown cop says, oh, yeah, treat the military. You can't treat them the way we're treating the illegals who broke the law to come into the country. These people are nuts. Nuts, folks. All right. People don't respond like this unless something real is actually happening. Look at those quotes. Incredible show. Lifting the veil of uncertainty. Really refreshing. Can't wait for the next one. Folks, that's not marketing. I didn't write those. Those were actual quotes from YouTube. That's momentum. In just 90 days since the launch, The Edge is closing in on 8,000 subscribers. We've already gotten 250,000 views, 13,000 watch hours, just 90 days. No gimmicks, no outrage, no pandering, actually no politics, because The Edge isn't built for algorithms. It's built for people who feel pressure but want clarity. It's not politics. It's performance, risk, discipline, money, failure, and rebuilding when the lights go off. Here's the decision you have. It's not a show you check out someday. This is where you decide whether you are early or just watching from the outside later asking, how in the hell did I miss it? Scan the QR code. Subscribe to The Edge on YouTube. No fluff, no softness, no permission needed. Be early. Live on The Edge. YouTube.com/@EricBollingTheEdge. YouTube.com/@EricBollingTheEdge. Go to YouTube, put in Eric Bolling in the Edge, subscribe. You'll be first. You'll be on the program. You want to be here, folks. It's going to explode. It's going to be big. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your subscription. We'll be back in 2.5 minutes.